Right now, it's time to talk about Forsyth Central football. So we want to welcome head coach Chris Bennett of the Forsyth Central Bulldogs.
Thank you, and I appreciate y'all doing this. I think I should get some award. I've been at every one of these things.
You have.
And I'm like here all the time. And it's also, I enjoy it because I get to see Coach Talent. I know at least once a year, so I always look forward to that. But we appreciate what y'all do for football in the county and promoting it, and y'all do a wonderful job.
Well, thank you, Coach Bennett. We appreciate you being here. And you know, you're always good. You're here. And you've made it every time you bring the helmet?
Yes, sir. I do what I'm told. You tell me to bring a helmet and some players, and we've done that today, too.
So it's a lot of fun. This is a great time. I always enjoy it every year to get all the coaches together, get some of the players together, and you know that spring football is right around the corner.
It is. It's an exciting time. We've been working out since January like everybody else, and that time from January to now, it gets kind of monotonous, and spring practice is that thing to look forward to, going out there, and our kids get excited about it, and the coaches get excited about it. So we're looking forward to it.
Just turn the volume up a little bit. If it gets too loud, folks, just give me an assignment. I want you to be able to hear. When does spring practice open for you?
We start May the 9th, and we're going for 2 weeks, just like everybody else. We're going to have our scrimmage on May 21st at 7:30 under the lights. Looking forward to it. And then I think the next week school's out, and we're done.
Wow!
So we're excited. We're ready to get going.
And then what is summertime? I know we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit. What is summertime like for the program?
Well, it's wide open. And it's got to where everybody knows it now that football is a year-round sport.
Right.
We start in January with morning workouts. We'll go through spring football. We'll give the guys a week off during final exams. And then the next week we start with our summer workouts. And we'll go 4 days a week all the way through August. And we can officially start this year, August the 1st. So they do get off the week of 4th of July.
Okay.
And that's about it. But it's very time consuming, and it's a testament to our kids and our coaches that, they have to put a lot of time into doing this.
How many guys will you lose to graduation this year?
We lost 13 seniors, and we lost some good ones. We lost an all-region center, Dustin Manders. We lost an all-region tight end, Joey Negley. Joey actually signed with Furman. So we got those guys, anytime you've got guys that have been in the program for 4 years and you lose them and they're successful at the college level, those are big shoes to fill.
Right. I want to ask you here about, just for the folks at home that are watching, kind of walk us through the X's and O's a little bit. I know we kind of talk about that each year, but just for people that maybe haven't seen the program or are new to town.
Well, we do, and it's like Coach Maxwell was talking about earlier. Everything today is so multiple. And that's what's great about spring practice. It gives us the time as coaches to evaluate our kids. We're going to base out of the wing tee, but we're going to base around what our kids can do. Whether that be throwing the football. Spencer Transu's coming back. He threw for 1,100 yards last year, set all kinds of school records. So it's nice to have that coming back. And, defense is the same way. We're going to base out of what we can do, what our kids can do. It's hard these days to lock into one system and say, here's exactly what we're doing. If we could recruit, we could do that, but we're going to take what we got and try to mold them and put them in the best situation to be successful.
Coach, I want to ask you about here, looking at the schedule. One of the things we mentioned Coach Maxwell, we talked with him earlier. It's kind of an exciting region. It's every game counts. You've got 11 teams in the region, and every week you've got a region matchup.
It is, and I guess you could say it adds a little pressure, but there's pressure every Friday night. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It's a very tough football region. Chattahoochee from our region won the whole thing. They went 15-0. Lambert done a phenomenal job this year. There's good quality football in our region, and it's not easy, but it's not supposed to be either.
What's the biggest goal that you look at for the spring practice coming up? You got new guys, you got rising freshmen that you'll be seeing for the first time?
We bring them all in. We bring in our rising freshmen and anybody. It's kind of one of those times where come on out and see if you like football and give it a try, and we try to get our numbers up. And really for us, it's an evaluation period. We kind of have an idea of our returning players of who can play, and we pretty much know what they can do. They've gotten a little rusty, so spring's a lot of fundamentals, and we're going to slow it down a little bit, and the kids get kind of bored. But it's a good chance to refresh on the fundamentals and then give us an opportunity as coaches to kind of see some of these new guys come in and see what they can do.
Of course, we talked about some of the players that you'll have back. You mentioned Transu.
We do. We're going to have 26 seniors next year. We're real excited about our senior group. Yeah, we were young last year as far as playing time. We played a lot of juniors, and it was some first-time starters, and kids did a great job. We were in a lot of games last year, and we just couldn't get over that hump.
Right.
And we're excited. Anytime you can have 26 seniors, it says a lot about your program. and it says a lot about our kids that those guys have stuck with this for 4 years. It'll be the largest senior class I've had since I've been there.
That's great. And what's going to be the biggest challenge for the Bulldogs this year?
Our biggest challenge this year is replacing our guys up front. We lost on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. We lost everybody up front. We got some guys that have played last year, and they did some. Michael Bryant's here. He played last year. We're expecting these guys, they've really got to step up and do a good job this year. We got a lot of our skill kids back, but if it doesn't happen up front, it doesn't matter who's behind them. So that's our number one concern going through the spring is we got to find 5 offensive linemen and we got to find some defensive linemen. That's our biggest concern.
I know I've done a lot of interviews with a lot of coaches over the years, and you hear the cliche about taking it one game at a time. I know that's popular. So I'm just looking at the schedule, and the next game is South Forsyth. So
yes, sir. I think it's 120. How many days? 118 days. We're on the countdown. We're excited. It's not because it's South. But it's simply because it's the first game that we play, right. One game at a time. You know how all that goes. So it is, and it's good to start off with a rivalry game. It's a little bit of a rivalry. I told some other day we got to start beating South before it becomes a real rivalry. Coach Arnett has done a phenomenal job over there, and we're excited to play South. We're excited to play anybody on that first game.
Definitely. That game will be at South Forsyth this year. So,
yes, sir.
So that kind of helps you out a little bit when you it's a road game, but you don't have to travel.
It is kind of nice.
Across town.
2 of our road games are Lambert and South this year. We had to go to Northwest Whitfield last year and Rome and Cass. So those guys get to make that 2-hour trip to us this year. And most of our games are going to be pretty close.
That's good.
That'll help. Yes, sir.
That's good not only for the coaches and the players, but also the fans.
It's great for the parents.
Yeah.
It really is that they can just go locally and get home before 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to you at those hours. I know it does get late. Well, let me ask you about, we talked about the spring game, and we have some Bulldog players and some folks here and some other coaches that we'll be talking to a little later.
Yep.
But anything else that I should ask you, be it fundraising or the team or anything else that we should let the viewers know? Yeah,
you have any fundraising ideas? Can you share with us?
I'll talk to you off air, yeah.
Figure it out. It's that's such a big part of what we do in high school football. We're self-supportive. Our schools do a phenomenal job of giving us what we need. Obviously, we need that. We need the equipment. We need the shoulder pads. But there's a lot of stuff we want. We want our guys to have a first-class program. And as everybody knows, that takes money. And where the kids now are working year-round as well, our booster clubs do the same thing. It's a 12-month a year. You're continually coming up with ideas and trying to raise money. And, everything you raise goes right back into the program. We have a great booster club. We have a great parent group. Sean Jackson, who was here last year,
right?
He graduated from Forsyth Central. He's our booster club president this year. He does a great job. He's very passionate about Forsyth Central, but they don't get a break either. The players don't get a break, and the parents they don't get a break either.
You mentioned that Sean Jackson was a graduate of Central, and it's kind of neat here. Well, one of the coaches that we're going to talk to later, he didn't graduate from Central, but Trevor Williams, you coached him.
I did. I was lucky enough. He was a good football player. He did a good job of playing college. I worked for Coach Maxwell at Sequoia High School and was lucky enough to coach Trevor. And Trevor's one of those guys that good players make good coaches, and he made us very good over there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you being here, and like you said, you're always here. We'll do it again next year.
I'm excited.
It's a lot of fun. Appreciate you coming out. We're going to talk to some other Bulldog fans here.
Great. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all for doing this.
Thank you. Coach Chris Bennett.